So yesterday, I talked about the clear comprehension of domain, Gochara Sampajanya. Or in other sense, is what are the suitable objects for vipassana meditation and what are not the suitable objects for vipassana meditation. So a mind that you must able to differentiate these two clearly, because they can be very, as you go further into development, they can be very tricky. They mimics the original. They mimics the reality, but it's all created by the mind. They can mimic as if like you close your eyes and you open your eyes, they look almost the same. This construct of the mind, this conceptual part of the mind, they are very strong in all of us. So I showed you many ways that how these different types of objects, especially the conceptual objects, how they can able to hold back the progress of insight. And yet, you may think that you overestimate your own practice. Sometimes we just note a little bit here and there. We thought that we already have some kind of deep insight. Because you interpret your own practice yourself. And this is one of the many factors that hold back a yogi from progressing into further development. And sometimes when the yogi is not corrected, they can remain with it for the next 20, 30 years. Until one day, hopefully they realize that they have done some mistake. And sometimes, 20, 30 years later, how old are you going to be? Sometimes it can be quite long inside it. Hopefully we don't fall into that trap. So I spoke at length these objects, that which one you're supposed to take it up and which one you're not supposed to take it up as a meditation object in the vipassana. Towards the end, I mentioned also the next one, the next clear comprehension. The next clear comprehension is the clear comprehension of non-delusion, asammoha sampajanya, non-delusion. So the word non-delusion here is the opposite of opposite of wisdom. It's the synonymous with wisdom. Synonymous with wisdom. They are same with wisdom. Non-delusion. So yesterday I mentioned a bit of like what are the elements of the body, what are the elementary forces of the body. Then at least most of us know that there are what? Earth element, fire element, wind element, then we have the water element. The four primary elements of the body, of matter. With these four elements, then they can derive from these four another 24 types of matter. Another 24 types of matter. And all these 24 types of matter that derive from these four, they always have these four primary elements. Now take for example, a very specific, let's say from the eye door, the retina, say for example the retina. The retina is composed of all the four elements, but it functions very differently compared to a ear door or the sensitivity of an ear. Although the ear, the sensitivity of the ear also got the 4 elements, but they take different objects. They take different objects. This one we go into a little bit of Abhidhamma a little bit. So but I'm not going to go there further than that. It's just to show you that within this body, although every part and every organ and everything that we have is all the 4 primary elements, but they can have a very specific function. A very specific function for a particular task, for a particular function or multiple function. So, nevertheless, we keep this understanding aside. What we want to do right now is that we want to dwell as a vipassana meditator to see it as it is, to see the different primary elements as they really are. Not only the body, then yesterday we mentioned about a little bit on the mind also. Different qualities of the mind. We have anger, greed, jealousy, you have wrong view, you have concentration, you have mindfulness, you have confidence, faith, you have like intentions, you have like vitaka, vichara, joy, and so on. Many parts of the mind that they are very different from one to another. They are very different from one to another. So, our job as a vipassana meditator is to bring the mind to see the true nature of mind and body. The true nature of mind and body. As you all know, until today, it's so much easier to said than done. You come in for the first 3 days, you think you're going to show you the mind or the body. It shows you sleepiness only. It shows you thinking only. It shows you nothing much. It's not easy for us to unravel the truth because it's covered by our defilements, our hindrances. We need to overcome them. We need to overcome them. Now, as a beginning of this practice, within this domain, within these suitable objects, that you know that how to take up the suitable objects, because you can able to differentiate between what is suitable and what is not suitable, right? So now you take up the suitable objects. Here, we're going to differentiate the suitable objects clearly. That means you're going to see into the different qualities, for example, the body, the different aspect of the body. There's different sensation that arise in the body, the different elementary forces of the body. We also need to see the different qualities of different mental factors that arises in the mind. So that we can able to see the true nature of things as they are. So now you have the right objects. Now we are further going to see the objects more clearly, more defined, so that you can begin to see the truth of things as they really are. On the practical side, for in order for this type of wisdom to arise, this type of clear comprehension to arise, you need a strategy to do it. For this type of mind, that you can able to notice the things as they are, that you can able to notice hardness, softness, warmness, coldness, pressure here, pressure there, anger here, clarity of the mind there, sleepiness here, restless mind there. You begin to able to differentiate this. But before we can able to do it, there's basic rule of the thumb, a general rule that what a yogi should do while you are in a retreat. When you're in the retreat, we are divided into 3 different aspects of training. Firstly is on the walking meditation, the sitting meditation, and the daily activities. 3 things. Now the general rule of the thumb, the general rule is that for the walking is that firstly, you must gradually slow down. All right? Gradually you slow down. Secondly, when you slow down, you also become more precise, more thorough, more precise in the noting. So these 2 aspects, gradually you slow down and gradually become more precise. These 2 aspects. Now let's elaborate a little bit more further. What do you mean by gradually we slow down? Gradually slow down means that in the beginning of the walking, you must not go too slow for most of the time, for 95% of the time. You must not go very slow in the beginning of the walking. You must learn to relax the body. Without the body relaxed, mindfulness will not come in. You feel very tight, you feel very tension here, pulling there, everything. The later part is going to be even more tougher. It's going to be more tough, tight, and sometimes this tightness and pressure can last for days. And even sometimes you go back, if you don't do it this properly, you go back with all the migraine and all the problems except development. So, firstly, when I say that, you all start off with a one-phase walking meditation. Don't underestimate this one-phase walking meditation. Right step, left step, right step, left step. So, when you do that, you try to synchronize the mind with the movement. If the mind is not synchronized with the movement or any other object, the mind is out. When the mind is out, it goes out into thinking. So the mind needs to synchronize the noting and the movement together. But you must not go too slow yet. Take your time, be patient. Relax the body first. And once you feel relaxed, this one also to master to how to relax, it takes time. Just to learn to feel that whether you are relaxed enough or not. You ask somebody who is not a meditator, just walk like that. You don't even know whether you are relaxed or not relaxed. So firstly, you learn to feel the relaxation of the body, and yet the mind can able to follow the movements of the feet. Once you're able to do that, then you're more or less a bit more ready for the next step. And then after that, you gradually slow down into 2 phases. Then you notice the lifting, dropping, but not too slow yet. Most important here is, again, the mind can follow the object. If too fast, sometimes the mind goes into a bit more thinking. Then slow enough that the mind can still follow, but not so precise yet. So you got to learn to fine-tune your movements at this time. Once you can able to pick it up, let it flow for a while. Don't be kanjiong, Let it flow for a while. Let the mindfulness comes in. Let the precision starts coming in. You pay attention to it. Then after that, then only you go into the 3rd phase. Once you go into the 3rd phase, or more phases than that, it doesn't mean that I teach you 3rd phase. Doesn't mean there's no 4th phase, 5th phase, 6th phase. There are more than that. But during this time, we're going to use a lot of words. That's why we stop until 3 phases enough. But the noting can be a lot. What is important is the noting, not too many labelings. Right? At one time, while I was in this Penang airport, I was sitting down waiting for the flight. Then another Mahayana come to me. Oh, so you practice Vipassana after a conversation, How many steps you practice? No, we practice about 3 steps, Oh, I practice 10 steps. 10 steps, Then he tried to recall how many steps. Lifting, raising, pushing. Then he has to figure out what's next, What's next? The problem here is not about the 10 steps or 20 steps or 100 steps, It's not about how much words that you can going to put into it. It's how much noting can you be done during in the 3 phase. During in the 3 phase, your job is to be as precise as possible. Slow enough that the mind can able to follow it. Sharp enough that the mind can pick up the sensation. If you don't pick up the sensation, then the walking will just be lifting, pushing, dropping, lifting, pushing, dropping, lifting, pushing, dropping. Come in from one retreat, the next retreat. Come in from the one retreat, the next retreat. Always the same old thing. Then what are you going to do? You get very bored with the walking. When you get bored with the walking, you don't want to do the walking. You take the walking as something pastime only, waiting for the next sitting to come. And with that attitude that you have, then this walking is not going to develop much. And you're going to have the same aspect of doing things again and again. So there's lacking of precision. When there's lacking of precision, there's lacking of progress. When there's lack of progress, there's lack of confidence. When the progress comes in, the confidence comes in automatically. You will know that this is important for you to do. Then you will, next time, you will know the wish of doing it is strong, is clear. So during the retreat time, don't ever neglect those people who have not come into a meditation retreat. Remember this, even you have not done, but next time you want to come in, you do a bit. You make sure that you master your walking meditation. It's going to be helpful for you, especially in this type of vipassana retreat. But you must not kanjiong. You must not be impatient. Sometimes impatient means just because that in the lifting, pushing, dropping, where you can see it very clearly, very sharp, then the next walking, first phase, second phase, I'm going to ignore already. I'm not going to see all that thing. Nothing much over there. So now, sekali you start the engine with the lifting, pushing, dropping, pulling. Or you thought that initially you still could able to do it. Yes, perhaps you can able to do the whole hour. Good, no problem. No tension yet. What's the big deal? Then, with this attitude, you repeat again the next walking. Then the next walking. Tomorrow you come back, you do the same thing. The third day, you end up with a lot of tension. Then you ask, where the tension comes in? How come after walking, after 3 or 4 days, the tension is so much? How does it come? Because the body is not relaxed. You keep on pushing and pushing. When you are doing a one-day retreat, it's different, The morning you try to push, at night you go back already. All the problem gone already. Go back and sleep. Tomorrow you go crazy with your work and so on, Whereas yogi over here is different. Tomorrow you repeat the same thing all over again. The next day all over again and again. So therefore, you need certain degree of balance and certain degree of relaxation. If you don't have that relaxation, you're going to have a lot of problem in the meditation. I've seen yogis who, throughout the whole day, they're super slow. If you want to go from the dining hall from the topmost floor to the dining hall, it may take an hour. So you want to start off with the eating time. 10 o'clock has to go already. And so slowly lifting, pushing, going down the staircase, and then going down. Take 1 hour. It looks nice. The thing is that it looks externally, for other people to see the yogi do it like that, if those who have some degree of practice, it looks nice, it looks wonderful, wow, so mindful, very good. You praise it. 5 days you come later lah. If the yogis still do it like that, 7 days you come later, they will go flat, burn out. And I've seen this yogi really burn out because there's no relaxation in the part during the meditation. Okay, so you need to gradually slow down to relax the body, and as you slow down, you gradually more precise. Usually, these are the two conditions. Now, of course, sometimes yogis also, after walking for a while, you get tension build up even after like 20 minutes or so. Then this time you can always reverse back to second phase, reverse back to one phase. There are also at times, I heard from yogis also, once they slow down, they cannot change gear anymore. They cannot go back to second gear, cannot go back to first gear. It's kind of like stuck there. No matter what happened, tension or no tension was stuck there. Tension also walk, no tension also walk. If no tension is okay. When the tension comes in, the pressure comes in, it accumulates. And if you do not know how to release it, then it becomes problematic as the days comes. So these two are something that you have to consider. For sitting meditation in the retreat now, I'm talking in the retreat, not that when you are doing out there. In the retreat is an immediate precision, immediate thoroughness of noting. No, you are already, the body is already in the relaxed position. You are not moving anymore. The body is in the relaxed position is about immediate noting already. That means you sit down already, by one minute or so, everything is done, you go to your rising and falling. Or some other sensation is very clear to you. And you begin to be thorough, noticing what is really going on with those objects of the body and mind. And not to sit there. You know what happened in the past? Not in the past, also in some yogis, You see what you learn in Friday class or Monday class, like over here or this one. Sometimes when you have been taught, in the first 15 minutes they'll teach you relaxation first. Right? They teach you to relax. Now some places they do like that. When they do this relaxation, when they apply it into your everyday type of meditation, it is wonderful. It's good. Because you are like crazy in the morning, in the afternoon, for example, then you need certain degree of relaxation in order for the practice to start. So what you do is that sometimes you sit down, then you just, from the head, then you feel the body, from the head, you feel the body, you relax, then you relax, you do for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, then only after you start off with your rising, falling, and so on. That is good for when you are at home. But it is not good when you are as a yogi. If you do like that, your whole meditation that you develop from your walking meditation, the strength that you already developed from there, it cannot connect to the sitting meditation. When it cannot connect, because you spend there like 15 minutes, 20 minutes just to relax all your energy away. Then you build up everything after your third phase and so on clearly. Then after that, everything you just relax, just because you learn from this one, then you relax, everything relax, then sit down. With this attitude you're going to have, after 5-10 minutes of meditating, every time you're going to look, every time the sloth and torpor is going to come in. It's going to come in. Because this one I experienced kind of like the whole 20 yogis are having this problem at one time in a certain parts of a retreat. Then I was looking, what is this problem is they are having? How come so many yogis, there's nothing much after 3 or 4 or 5 days. And every yogi is like having sloth and torpor. Then you got to be a bit of forensic, just to keep on asking, what are they doing, what are they doing, what are they doing? And then later we found out is that every one of them, they get a simple instruction from somewhere else. So when they start meditating, they do it like that. Every sitting, they do it in this way. Every sitting, they goes into sloth and torpor. And every retreat, they come back again. It's the same result. It's the same thing. Because they thought that every sitting is going to be relax. Huh? No, it's not in this way when you are in a retreat. That's why when you are in the retreat, when the walking starts, it's about make sure that the body is relaxed. When the body is relaxed, the body is calm, and then when you go over into the sitting, the body is also in the sense of it's easy, clear. Because you are sitting down, it's immediate precision, noting. By the time you sit down, you might got to note your rising, falling, movement, lift, a sensation, pain here, pulling there, and the whole hour, you try to keep up that momentum of noting as best as you can. Of course, for now, sometimes the sleepiness come in, this one come in, we understand. Yeah? But if you do not have all these things, keep it for the whole hour, precision noting. Then you'll see, within a few days, you see the progress of development comes in much more better than previously. And with that, if you can have, sometimes you imagine 7 sittings per day. 2 sittings, let's say you have a lot of sloth and torpor, then we minus that. Then at least you have 5 hours of precision noting, and it's going to go very fast. But sometimes in the first few days, 7 sitting, 6.5 sitting is sloth and torpor. And then only the half hour only, then only is clear. During in the beginning of the sitting. But over the days, then 1 sitting is clear, 2 sitting is clear, and then over after a week or 10 days, then sometimes the 7 sittings are clear, or the 5 sittings are clear. This is how the progression of a lot of yogis will go through. And we know that. Some yogis, due to the past, of course, the past experience, the first 2 or 3 days is much more shorter. Compared to some yogis, it's much longer. If you have come in from a lot of work, crazy work that you have out there, then sometimes you need about 4 days, 5 days just to settle the whole mind down. That's the reality of the everyday world. So, immediate precision during in the sitting. Then comes into the daily activities. When it comes to the daily activities, in order for the mind to develop, then you got to see the condition of the place and at particular time and see whether, one of the things is that to see whether the body is in a relaxed position or not. If it's the body is in a relaxed position, then this time you do a little bit more noting, a bit more precision. If the body is not in the relaxed position, then you do more of a general mindfulness. Okay? What do you mean by when the body is relaxed? When the body is relaxed, for example, when you are sitting down to eat, you're not running here and there, you're not doing any other thing. It's just sitting there while you're eating. So while you're eating this time you pay a little bit more precision than other times of your daily activities. So you sit down there and you note your chewing, biting, swallowing, tasting, and so on. And you note it more precisely. Hot, soft, warm, cold, then you note it more precisely. And when you're able to do that, then you can see that there are many sensations, many patterns of your eating habit, how you bite, how you chew. You see a lot of ways it will show it to you. Yeah? It's only for you to go and discover it. You don't have to have a particular way. All you need to do is just let the body do the work. Your job is sit there, pay attention, the biting, chewing, and so on. Then there's sometimes it's kind of like very, satisfaction of noting of all this sensation when you are there. That's why even in the eating time also, this is also a meditation time. This is a meditation time. But sometimes when there are non-yogis around, they'll make a lot of noise. That's why it's important that training has to be overall. Every part of our life while we are in the retreat time. Say for example, that when you are not so in a comfortable position, in the sense that maybe you are doing your dishwashing, you're washing your plates or your platters, and then at that time, like 3 or 4 person waiting for you behind. You cannot just like washing. It take you 10 minutes. It's going to be difficult, isn't it? Maybe here we have more places, or perhaps you move to the next one. But some other places you can't do like that. Although right now over here, maybe you can do it a bit more slowly, but other places you have to change your style. For example, again, like the toilet, especially the ladies' part is limited. It's limited. You cannot be like brushing, soaping, and then after half an hour, 45 minutes later, you come out. You cannot. But in other places, they got 30 yogis, they got 30 toilets for you. Then that time, you can take your time, your sweet time. You want to count your hair, so okay. It's perfectly okay. Nobody's going to rush you. Nobody's going to disturb you. So that time, you take it, you brushing, biting, wiping, and so on. You slowly change your clothing, you slowly do whatever that you want. At that time, you do it mindfully. You could do that. But perhaps over here, you may not able to do those things. While if you cannot do these things, then this time is for you to be a bit more general. A bit more general is in the sense that you're aware of what you're doing, but not so precise, not so clear. But generally you're aware, the mind will run here a little bit, bring it back again, be here, be present, just keep on doing things, this one. So it maintains some degree of mindfulness there. Then again, on the daily activities, to be precise in the noticing, then at times we got to jump in. You jump in for a short period of time. Let's say here, maybe you comb your hair. Normally we take you a few seconds. If a man, then okay. For the ladies, while you are here, sometimes you do it more easily. You're not so try to beautify yourself so much while you are here. But nevertheless, while you are doing it, you just take a period of this time, just a short period of time. You want to comb your hair, you want to feel something, you do it a bit more slowly. You feel the sensation of pulling, touching, warm, cold, here pulling, there loosening, and so on. You feel a bit of more sensation. So just take your time to do it. Now after that, you do a bit more general things. Then after that, you come to a door, for example. You want to come to a door, then you exercise a bit more precision there. A bit more precision, you notice hardness or softness, or you notice the intention of opening, and then you're pressing it, you're opening it, then you open. Then after that, you close the door, then you do a bit more general. Then another thing, you dwell into it. In this way, throughout the whole day, the general activities that you have, it's like here a bit, here a little bit, here a little bit, here a little bit, here a little bit. Sometimes you think that all these things, how come you cannot do just everything in one go? In certain places, even the daily activities has to be very, very slow. In certain places, there's no schedule like us, 1 hour walk, 1 hour sit, none. You make your own schedule. Then, what the yogis want what they want the yogis to do is to make everything very slowly. Everything very slowly. Eating very slowly, taking shower very slowly. You walk from one side, everything very slowly. Yeah. At one time, that place, I want to go up the staircase to the first floor. But the staircase is so narrow. The yogi is going up so slowly, so lifting. You cannot overtake, also cannot. Don't want to catch out the yogi also. So sit down there at the staircase and meditate first. After 1 hour later, then only the yogi reach upstairs. Yeah. Some places are like that. They want the yogi to be very slow. But, although it looks nice, a lot of yogis will burn out. A lot of yogis will burn out. Because the tension that is developed from the body, the very slowness, the tension, the pressure, the tightness, it keep on building up and building up, building up. Take you 5 days, 7 days. Again, you drop out from this retreat, from the Vipassana retreat. But the things that I've mentioned just now, you're trying to be precise, but once you're able to relax, the body ease off again. Then the body, when it's ready, pay attention to it again, ease off again. Hit and run thing. Yeah? Hit and run thing. So if you're able to do that, then it's very helpful for you. You begin to able to discover a lot of things throughout your whole day. But if you're out of the mindfulness, even the general mindfulness, you're out of it, then that time there's not much of a progress is there. It's only either you are mindful and you are precisely mindful. You choose these two parts when you are in the daily activities. Generally mindful, precisely mindful. Generally mindful, precisely mindful. If you are out of that, that means you are not mindful anymore. The thinking, the thoughts, their defilements will come in. So in other words, if you are generally mindful also, you got to be aware. You are here. You know what you are doing. You know your mind is thinking. Pull it back again. Hearing. You notice the hearing. Pull it back again. Then after that, be a precise in here and that. So if you have this way of doing things, you can survive here for the next 1 year. Basi, Then some people here, 10 days don't know can pass or not, Bante. No, how many days already? 3rd day, 4th day, 5th day already. Ayo. So when you do in this way, when the body is relaxed, the mind is clear, you can go very far. And day after day, you can see some progress coming in. Now, so we get this general rule of how to walk, the sitting, and the daily activities here. Now, when it comes to precision level, paying attention to it. Now, when you pay attention to it, as I said, for example, in the sitting meditation, 3 or 4 talks ago, I mentioned that a yogi, when you sit down, you got to pay attention to it precisely. There are 2 types of yogi. In these 2 types of yogi, although they are doing vipassana, one is maybe very precise and one is just generally mindful on it. Take, for example, the rising and falling. You take, for example, the rising and falling. If the yogi that is precise, noticing it, then when he pays attention to the rising and falling, he completely clear about the rising and falling. He can notice the rising and falling long, short. It can happen a few times, and then after that, the rising become this way, become shorter, become shallow, become clear again, not so clear. The kind of like full awareness of the movement of the rising and falling. Whereas another type of yogi is just a general mindfulness type of yogi. It's just rise. Although the mind is present, the mind is aware, but it's not aware of it clearly. You ask the yogi, How's the rising and falling like? Rising, falling only. Rising, falling, rising, falling. Happy, happy. Nice or not? Nice. That's all. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. And they do not want to go more than that. Why? Because it's pleasant in that like this. Your mind goes into a lot of thinking. There's not much of attention, and it's just nice. It's just wonderful. Yeah. It's still good. It is still a wholesome mind. Not to say it's unwholesome mind, but it's not good enough for vipassana. And it's good enough for general everyday. Every day if you sit at home, if you just got that rising, falling like that, also it's very good already. Also it's wonderful because you can able to calm down. At least the mind feels clear and present. It's still wonderful, not as unwholesome. But you cannot just apply that in the vipassana and you expect to be able to progress. So in other words, when it comes to rising, falling, you got to precisely noticing it. Label it, maybe you just label it rising, but sometimes it can go like here pulling a little bit, here tightening a bit. So you keep on noticing the qualities of the rising and falling. So too that other sensation also that when you notice, the pain that you notice, you got to not just gritting the teeth on the pain, Sometimes some yogis, when they come to pain, they just, you look at the face, and then they are in their deep dukkha, because it shows out. And you can this type of meditation, and for sometimes some yogis, they just stay with the pain. They grit until the bell rings at 1 hour. And then you feel good. Wow, now I can sit 1 hour already. Wow, you feel wonderful. You feel nice. But are you really mindful of the pain? You're not mindful of the pain. You just tahan the pain. You just withstand the pain only, but you're not observing what is the pain is going on. So, in other words, the precision of differentiating what the pain is like, what the dukkha is like, what everything is like inside there, you cannot describe anymore. You can just only withstand the pain only. You feel good because before that, when you begin to meditate, you can't even sit for half an hour. Now this time, perhaps you go 45 minutes and if 1 hour you can just, then you feel good. But you thought that you are doing some progress. Of course you got some progress, but not in the sense of vipassana yet. Yeah, you can tahan 1 hour. It's not to say it's bad. Give you some credit for it. But that's it. Precision of development, what is really going on with the pain? Nothing much. So in other words, when it comes to the pain, you got to define the pain. See what is happening with the pain. See what type of pain. Firstly, you got to see what type of pain. Because it's a very prominent object right now. Let go of other object. Put attention there. Describe the pain. See what type of pain. Initially, you may need some degree of concept. It is helpful because it helps the mind to stay onto the object. You notice it like a sawing pain. You notice it like a pulling pain. You notice it like somebody like taking a drill and inside there. So you may describe a bit of concept. It's perfectly alright because that the mind is still noticing the pain. Then you're noticing the pain, how it grow, how it become less, and so on. Then you actually begin to see the mind itself, because the pain here, it belongs to the mind. No doubt it's connected with the body now. Bodily unpleasant feelings. So you begin to see the different quality of the pain. You'll be able to differentiate, this is this pain, this is that pain, this is this pain coming here and there. In the beginning part, the yogi must learn to able to differentiate the different type of pain. Once you're able to differentiate, it gets clearer in the future. Now, for seasoned yogis, for more experienced yogis, sometimes the pain does not come in just one pain. Sometimes it comes in like multiple pain, sakalikam. It comes together at one go. And all this, and sometimes like 3 or 4 pain that comes in, and each and every pain got a different quality. They can feel that this is a hard pain here, pulling pain here, bending pain there. Let's say you got 3 types of pain, and these 3 types of pain, they look exactly the same prominency. What are you going to do during this time? When it happens in this way, your job is to take all of them first. We are talking about more experienced yogi. If in the beginning yogi, you will not have the ability sometimes to do all these type of things, because if you do this way, your mind sometimes can get confused which one to do. But a more experienced yogi is different. They can, all these things, they can take one go. They can take one go, and yet they can differentiate these 3. Sometimes you think that, hey, Bante, but the book says the mind can take one thing at one time only. How could take so many things at one time? Because you read so much, you thought that the mind can only take one thing at one time only. That's why when you read a book, when you experience something, initially they all look different, but they are same in a certain sense. So what should you do right now? Should you go back to your book experience, or you should pay attention to what is happening in front there? Now, if you have those books, although it's good to have those things, now you come to a juncture here, you get dilemma. How come when I was reading, then the mind can take one thing at one time, but now I can take 3 or 4 things at one time? So which one is right now? Actually, both is right. Both is clearly right. It's just on a different timing only. Right now, for example, in the beginning part, you may take one object at one time. Perhaps you can't take object at this one. Well and good. But as your mind becomes much more faster in the noting, more precise in the noting, and more flexible in the noting, the mind changes object much more faster than you can able to know. And yet, you thought that 3 things that you can take, actually the mind is fast enough to take one thing at one time. But you can't see the quickness of the mind. The mind can able to differentiate these 3 fast enough, but but actually behind it is just one object at one time. It's just like you turn on the fan, you got 3 or 4 blades, you turn it faster, you look at everything, it's just one disc only. Right? It's something like this. But if you go further after that later on, then you can actually see how fast the mind can take up one thing at one time within a second. Maybe within a second, 5 objects have already gone through, because there's a flexibility of precision in noting. So the next time, if your books and your experience comes in and they go different, you're not sure what to do, you go back to your experience. Don't doubt your experience. If you doubt your experience, this is going to hold you back. If you doubt your experience, say for example like the pain, then the true nature of things as they are is already appearing to you. It's trying to show you this. But your concept, your thinking of your Dhamma, this one cannot. I got to push it away. I must see according to what the book says. Then like that, you're not going to go any much of a progress. So in other words, you got to keep an open mind. Pay attention to the object of what is really happening there with clarity. Because when it comes into this type of observation, you cannot keep on going back to what you study. You got to put the confidence, you put the trust in the mindfulness, to let the mindfulness show you the way. And you got to let the mindfulness expose the truth to you. A lot of times we meditate with a lot of theory, a lot of our medical theory, and a lot of our judgments and so on. Sometimes even like pain also, due to our so much of a psychological understanding and medical understanding or biological understanding, physiological understanding. We thought that we are suppressing the nerves, we are suppressing this one. It cannot be so hard. Then you sort of cover up the truth again with your own thinking and your biasness. So here, put it aside. Pay attention, whatever that is you cannot able to differentiate back again. It shows you in this way, you pay attention into this way. Then a lot of things will happen to show you. This is how you pay attention to the objects when you get the right objects, precisely, to see what is the full nature of things as they are. Sometimes, for example, during the walking meditation, the same thing. Sometimes when you walk, then one leg feels much more heavier than the other leg. Heavier, light, heavier, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light. How come? How come it's this way? Is there something wrong with my leg? Cannot. Or both must be light. Cannot be heavy. So you shake it out. Just have a light one. If you do like that, again, you don't see the truth. The truth is right in front of you, but you do not want to see it. You see what you want to see, and that is what your desire is talking. Your greed or your lobha is talking. It's just so simple. It's just like sometimes one leg walking straight, the other leg is keep on vibrating. How come one leg straight is walking? Is it that something wrong with my leg or not? A lot of yogis will have that. They're not going to be the same. Sometimes even, for example, like yesterday, you're walking very smoothly, and today when you're starting to walk, you unbalance here, then here you stumble again, walk again, stumble again. How come I don't have my yesterday's nice and pleasant walking? If you wish for that, again, your mind already desired those things already. Right now, if it's in balance, you got to learn to see it as it is. It's in balance, the leg goes there, you see it as it is. It's like that. Because right now, you got to see it as it is. As it shows you, more and more things, it will start coming up. You just have to be patient. Sometimes things doesn't go according to what you think it should supposed to be, because this is the truth. If it's go according to what we want, what for we come over here? Might as well sit at home also. What we want can able to appear to you. But it's because that you want to see the truth. Things are changing, things are different. Pay attention to it as it is. You unbalance of the walking, you take note of the unbalance. Sometimes you step down, one leg you can able to hot here, pulling here, tightness there, and noticing one leg very clearly. The other leg you notice nothing much. Flat. Nothing. Then the other leg you walk again, you can feel it. Oh, there's a pulling there, pushing there, pressuring here. Yes, very nice. But after that, the other leg, nothing much. If shows you that way, you accept it that way, you pay attention to it that way. Because there are how this object arises, how these four phenomena of hardness, softness, warmness, and they come in very unlimited ways of showing it to you. So your job is to see them as they really are. You see them as they really are. So sometimes even like rising and falling, it can go, the movement can go kiki kwai kwai, it can go haywire, as if like you're not rising, falling, it goes to the sideway, it goes to the sideway. Is it rising or is it falling right now? So sometimes you just start thinking, how come? What is this? If it goes sideways to you, sideways you observe. If it goes on, it doesn't go up, it goes down to your spine there, then you notice it in such a way also. You don't go and catch out it that you want to push it again to what you like. Objects, this time when it shows it to you in so many different variety, different pattern, and the pattern that it comes in things that you have not seen before. You see it in such a way, therefore, at that time, the mind becomes clearer and clearer. The different phenomena of the body becomes evident, becomes clearer. Hardness becomes clearer, softness becomes clearer, warmness becomes clearer, everything becomes clearer and clearer to you. So because you begin to accept it as it is. So, here is on the bodily part. And we notice the bodily, the sensation, the pushing, pressure, and so on. I talked a little bit on the mental part, which is connected with the body again, but is on the feelings. We see on the feelings also this time that the feelings are also have a variety of qualities. Although you say this is unpleasant feelings, you thought that all your unpleasant feeling is dukkha. You thought that you've seen, just because you have all this pain here, pain there, you've seen all the dukkha there is to see. You'll be so surprised that all the pain that you have, all the tension that you have, the understanding of dukkha is just on the surface level only. There's so much more deeper than that. So much more deeper than that. But anyway, what is important is that we can able to notice its quality first. Beginning on the unpleasant feelings. Tomorrow, we're going to go into these feelings to see how we get misconception about the feelings. When the misconception comes in about connected with the feelings, then how our meditation also go haywire. A lot of times when it comes to pain, we do not know how to manage it. And we manage it wrongly. This time, as I said, and in this talk, it's all connected to non-delusion. It's connected to seeing things as they are. But while you're trying to see it as it is, the defilements can still creep in. Once it creep in, it comes in, it distorts the mind to another way. And when it distorts it, it creates a habit. When it creates a habit, you stay with that habit until somebody undo it for you, until somebody help you to undo it. So tomorrow, we'll look into that part of feelings. So we stop here for tonight.